Chase the money, chase the money, chase the money, chase the
What's going on, ENC? It's your man DJ Danny Ocean, Carolina's favorite fat boy, host of the hottest night show on the planet, the Danny Ocean Show on Kiss FM. Listen, I'm getting back into these artist interviews and all that. So if you a dope artist, you got some dope music you want to get across on my platforms, get your song played on my Who Got Next Independent Artist Showcase, tap in with me at the Danny Ocean Show on pretty much everything. All right, but today got a very special guest coming to the show. Tampa native. Met him down in Tampa back in 2014 for the Royal Rumble. Look, anybody that loves hip hop and wrestling as much as I am, we gonna link instantly. You feel me? So I gotta bring him to the show, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the homie GATS 813. GATS,
Hey,
what's
what's
going
up?
on, my
What's up?
boy?
What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Man,
sir.
chilling. We here.
Man, first and foremost, that hat you got on right now, stuntman.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna put this out there in Tampa. Like I said, shout out to Mega Ran. He had the Battle Rumble down there, and Gats was on the lineup for it. I wasn't familiar with Gats at the time, right? And I'm hearing him performing. He's performing the Stuntman, and I'm hearing a bunch of wrestling bars in it too. I was like, wait a minute now. I was like, hold on now. This man knows some stuff. Let me check him out. And I started paying attention to the music and everything, and the stage presence too, bro. I don't think I mentioned this to you, but your stage presence blew me away that night. The way you getting the crowd into it and whatnot. You did your thing. I immediately became a fan. Now Eastern North Carolina, y'all have heard me drop Stuntman a couple times on my Who Got Next Spotlight feature already, but Gats is back with a new joint.
Back with a new joint. Back with a new joint, man. I'm very thankful that this record is out. This is a joint called Cheapskate, and it's with me and Chase the Money. So it's the first collaboration that I've done with Chase the Money in 5 years. He came to Tampa way back when. This is probably back in 2019,
Okay.
and we got in the lab and we made Cardiac Coupe. And that song came out towards the end of 2019 going into 2020. And it was crazy. COVID happened, a whole bunch of things happened with the album that Cardiac Coupe was supposed to come out on, which is actually it's 5-year anniversaries today.
Oh wow.
Robbers.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. And things happened, whatever. I moved out to LA 2 years ago, and one day I'm leaving Ralph's, crossing traffic, and I saw Chase in a whip, and I'm like, yo, Chase. And he looks at me, he's like, Gats? And I'm like, yeah, blah blah blah. I ran over, we exchanged new numbers and everything like that. I went to the studio that night, and he sent me a bunch of beats, and
wow.
Cheapskate was one of them. And I went back to the crib and recorded it in my crib the next day.
That's crazy. That's a hell of an origin story right there. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, man. And what's crazy about it is that like that hook was actually in a verse. I wrote a demo for Baby Keem. So
Okay.
this is probably like 2022. So I always had that, came from the dirty swampland. We were going to change it to came from the desert dry land, because Keem was from Vegas.
Right.
So like that was kind of the, like, I was writing these things to try to position it as like, oh yeah, this is what I would do, blah 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 blah, give them ideas or whatever. And we were trying to sell beats to them, and it didn't go through, whatever, not a big deal. But I always had those two bars stuck in my head, and when I was rapping, that's what came to me. Ended up writing the whole song, and ended up being its own thing. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's fire, bro. And we will be dropping that joint a little bit later in the show here tonight. So I'm gonna make sure y'all stick around for that and everything. But so you coming from Tampa. You went from Tampa, you moved out to LA. What was the music scene like in Central Florida?
In Central Florida, man, it's such a ever flowing thing, right? Because in Tampa, there's its own dialect as far as what the music sounded like. Because you have people who made crank music, you have people who made juke music, you have people who made scroll music. So all those things sounded drastically different, but also kind of the same. Like they all kind of like align with each other and move, and that's kind of the basic, foundation of the Tampa scene. And then you have everybody who's kind of finding their weird niche, because there's a lot of interesting and talented people who just go far left of what the Tampa standard sound was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people sometimes call it the Gulf Coast sound. So
Mm-hmm.
like people like They Hate Change, they went a real wild direction with how their music came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Dochi, seeing Dochi at a Tampa Beat Weekend a few years ago, she always had that pageantry and the grandiose and trying to blend these sounds together. And she would give you raps, she would give you, song writing, she would sing. Uh, so it's very interesting how much of a melting pot Tampa was for as small of a place as it was.
Right.
Um, I just try to fit in, where I could get in. I had a really weird musical upbringing. So, like, all the music that my homies and me would put together, we call it the produce aisle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I always try to do like something that was a little fresh, a little off, a little organic.
Right.
So I think myself, Santos, Jordan Patrick, Scott A, we had a particular production sound that we were always going for that had this weird staccato feel to it, really like southern, but still kind of weird. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we just try to bring that to the pot with
Right.
what everybody else was doing.
I get it. I understand that. So you say you moved out of LA what 2 years ago?
Yeah, this is back in 2023.
Okay, and I'm assuming the move was to more connections out there in LA than you possibly had back in Central Florida. Is that the case, or you had something already planned out there?
I didn't really necessarily have anything planned. What had happened was I got invited as a guest to the Kendrick Mr. Morales tour,
Okay,
and that was just a really life changing event for me.
I could imagine.
That situation, along with like Rolling Loud happening the week prior,
Hmm.
and I really just kind of sat and thought to myself, hey, I can continue to make music in Tampa and continue to be this guy who is a man of the city and be beloved in the city, but what good is that going to do for the city itself or my own career in the long run? Like, I really need to make an actual jump at this.
Right,
And I'm not getting any younger, and I just felt that there are going to be certain opportunities that are going to present itself in LA that wouldn't present itself in Tampa because it wasn't possible.
right,
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go make the jump. I'm gonna give myself a year. If nothing shakes in a year's time, then I could always say, hey, I gave it a college try,
right.
and move back home. But I really didn't know what I was doing. I had a few contacts out here, not a lot, but I
Hmm.
had a few to start making some things shake. And I think me making the jump, the universe was like, all right, we see you're serious, so let's start rolling these opportunities out to you.
I feel it 110%, bro. I haven't. I don't think I've ever publicly talked about how I got into some of the stuff I'm into now, but I had a job that I didn't like, and I just quit. I didn't have a safety net, bro. I just quit and said I can't do this no more. This ain't what I want to do with myself. And happy accident after happy accident, and everything just started leveling up. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of a situation where you kind of realize this is what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. This
Right,
is what I
right,
should have done. So yeah, I feel it 110%. Um, so obviously LA has been pretty good to you. You got this joint with Chase the Money. You just dropped a joint not too long ago with Reason from TDE
right,
too, right?
right,
White
right.
Bronco.
Yes, yes, White Bronco. Love
Uh,
that record.
How'd White Bronco come about? How did Link Up with Reason come about?
Man, that was one of those weird blessings, man. I was talking to a homie, Sam Illy,
Hmm.
back in Tampa, and we always kind of ran in the same circle. Um, he's real tight with my engineer Scott, so Scott was like, "Man, y'all boys really need to link up, work on some music, whatever, whatever, whatever."
Hmm.
We exchanged numbers, he sent me some beats. The beats was dope. There's one that stuck out to me, and I remember writing a concept and shooting the demo back to him in a day. Uh, there's this joint called "I Lied." It may come out still. We don't know yet, but
Mhm.
that joint's fire. So he was like, "Yo, this is crazy. Like, this is a crazy joint." And I'm like, "Yo, thank you." Blah 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 blah. And he was like, "Yo, now that you got this deal that's on the table, is there people that you're like looking to work with?" Blah 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 blah. Blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, I got a list. I got a whole, like I'm like,
Right.
man." By that time, I already had Deontay Hitchcock and YG Tut on the album. I had already
Okay.
had a few things coming in, but I was like, man, I want to work with Wale. I want to work with Gibbs. I want to work with Rashad. I want to work with motherfucking Ben Riley. I want to work with Dizza. I want to work with Reason. And he's like, Reason? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, hold on. So like 15 minutes, 20 minutes pass by. I get put in the group chat
uh,
and is Sam, myself, and another number. He's like, yo, Reeds is Gas is Reeds, blah, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
crazy.
Woo, woo, woo. Like, and Reeds was like, yeah, he just showed me some of your music. Like, yo, you dope, blah, 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 blah. Let's figure something out. Let's get something on the table.
Right.
Sam put a beat in there. And I think this is around the time OJ had died. This is either like the day OJ died or the week of. And I don't know. I just was rest in peace. I got the juice sipping, and it just like it just started working. I sent the demo in. Reese really liked the idea. He really rocked with the concept of it.
Yeah.
He sent something back in a week, and I was like, "Yo, you trying to do the video?" And he was like, "Yeah, we just got
That's
fitted in the
what's up.
schedule." So, real gracious for that. Thankful. He was great to work with on set. Real good soul, real professional, and he really barred it up. So
Mhm.
I'm thankful, man. I'm real
That's
thankful.
what's up, man. That's like again, right place, right time, saying the right things. Every the universe kind of give it to you. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
People don't understand the power of just putting your head down, doing the work. Don't complain. It ain't coming when you want it, but when it's time, it's time. You're gonna know it. So that's what's up, man. So you mentioned you did Rolling Loud
Yeah,
out there in
yeah.
LA. How'd you get that link up?
Man, me and them Rolling Loud boys is like a lot of people don't know the knowledge, know the history, but like I was on Rolling Loud one. I
Oh
was
wow.
with I was working with the company that birthed Rolling Loud before Rolling Loud was a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a we used to do like tours. So they would like route tours through Central Florida,
Mhm.
and do like a Miami, Tampa, Orlando stop, Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, or sometimes just Miami, Orlando, whatever the case may be, whatever combination, right?
Right.
And usually for like the Tampa, Orlando stops, there are a few people that they always had that they relied on that they knew would show up,
Mhm.
do good business, help make sure tickets was getting moved,
Right.
perform, blah 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 blah. That was like myself, Nico Wiz, uh, Old Town Marco, Swamp Posse, which had Sky and Danny Towers. Um, we was always people that were like booked on those shows, and eventually, like in Miami, had their own like crew of people too, like Wi-Fi's funeral,
Mhm.
X Ski, like they held it down. So as they kept doing these shows, they kept building up this register network, blah 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 blah. And
Right.
Matt and Tarek ended up coming with the Rolling Loud concept.
Okay.
So like Rolling Loud one, I was there. I'm on the
That's
flyer.
dope.
Uh,
That's fire.
um, so yeah, man, it just every now and then, it's not every year that I do a Rolling Loud, but I'm always thankful for the opportunity when it presents itself. When timing aligns, when like I got a song that's coming out, or
Right.
an album that just came out, and there's traction and there's motion, and when they think about me sometimes, and I'm able to make it happen. I don't know. I want to say like 9, 10 of them at this point. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
the
dope.
was just right on time. Like, um, I was talking to them and I let them know that I had signed the deal. They were real happy for me, and we were getting everything lined up for the stuntman rollout,
Mhm.
and garnering steam for that. And they're just like, "Yo, we want you to, do it at LA." So
Fire.
yeah,
Fire. Hell yeah, man. So Stuntman was the first video I saw from you actually, too. And I actually went back and watched a few more of your other joints, and then I've been watching, pretty much everything you do drop. Your style of video is so different. Usually you see a bunch of women, twerking and
yeah.
slabs and all that, but it's so much more thought behind your videos and whatnot. How do you direct them yourself, or you have somebody come up with a treatment, a concept, or how do they come about?
Man, it really comes down to the brain trust. Whenever I talk about GATs, it's not just me, it's a brand,
Right.
and I really got to thank my guys, Roberto Rivera and Jam Michael, Animus Visuals, 86 Visuals. In addition to that, Tom is somebody I've been working with for interface films out here in LA. So
Mhm.
Tom is also a part of that clique now. But I'm a film guy. I really like film in visuals, and that
Right.
means a lot. The spectacle means a lot to me. There's a reason why the album's called Life on Film. I want
Yeah.
you to hear the songs and be able to see exactly what I'm talking about, be in the room with me, have it like feel as if you're there.
Right.
um and when we're talking about these videos, it's usually I put the songs, or I put the album in the group chat, and I'm like, hey y'all, if something sticks in your mind when you hear something, let me know. And that's how we make videos.
Right.
So and that's how I pick singles too.
Hmm.
If the guys are like, yo, I have a vision for this, then that means it's something that we can translate. That means it's something that we can relate to somebody on a
Hmm.
deeper level than just the auditory. So yeah, that's the one that we're gonna go with. And some of the treatments I have written, um, or I've assisted in, the two that I take a lot of credit and pride for was Suplex and Zion. So
Hmm.
Suplex, I wrote that treatment. I
Okay.
wrote out that match with Lee. So like we went through all the spots, and I did the whole like psychology of what the match was supposed to look like and how we were
Right.
going to translate that. And then Zion, I co-directed that with Jan. So I had like a pretty good solid like storyboard, and then he went and expanded upon it, made it big, made it make sense, put all the things together, um and clean it up a bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, man. But everything else is it just depends on who gets the idea. Cheapskate, we were just like, yo, we had this one idea, we was waiting on a check to come in, it didn't. We're like, yo, so what we gonna do? They're like, well. And I was like, you know what? I wanna shoot something at Tampa Lanes. Like that's a childhood spot,
Right.
adolescent spot for me. So let's go do something there. And literally, like we're doing the edits,
Hmm.
and Berto kind of happy accident blew everything out on the color. He was like, yo, that's actually kind of dope.
That's what's up, man.
You know,
So when is the Cheapskate video out already, or is it
Cheapskate is out now. It's
out
out
now?
now. Out now.
Okay. Yeah, make sure y'all go run that up right now. Go check out the Cheapskate video. It's on YouTube. Please go check that out. Matter of fact, I'll have the link in the comments under here, and I'll post it on the website, 1019online.com too. So Cheapskate, the lead single from Life on Film.
This is now we're technically, man, technically this is the fifth single of Life on Film. Because this has been such a crazy journey
Uh-huh.
on making the album. Like a year ago, Cheapskate didn't exist, and like White Bronco was barely in like the idea. It was
Hmm.
barely in the frame of my mind. Well, we was thinking that White Bronco would have been on the second album that I did with Rock Nation.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this is the technically the second single of the year, but you're still going to get Stuntman on the album, so
Okay.
don't like it's still there. But we might give you guys one more single, and then it's album time. Like I'm ready to
Mhm.
show my hand. I think the big thing is just making sure that we got enough people engaged and want the album. Like we
Right.
know the album is good.
Mhm.
It's great. No cap. I'm not even going.
He
And I'm
said
not.
he's not tooting his own horn. The joint is fire. It's
It's
what he's
great.
saying, yeah.
It's great. But we want to make sure that it's coming out to people who are ready for it.
I feel that. I feel that. Um, so you say you got this technically the fifth single. How many tracks you looking to have on the project?
So right now we at 14. If I
Okay.
have my way, it'll be 16.
Okay.
I kind of wanted it to feel like a movie theater.
Hmm.
So you go to like the AMC Grove 14, you go to the Regency 20, so it's the Gibsonton 8, the Movie Co 8, rest in peace Movie Co and Ebor, got active over there, like
Yeah.
so I didn't want it, and I have 15 songs. I didn't want it to be the Life on Film, AMC 15. That bothers
I
me
feel
because
you.
15 is a weird number. It got to be 16 or it got to be 14. So that's where we're at right now.
I feel it. I feel it. Got to stay in theme.
Got
Got
to
to
stay
stay in
in
theme.
theme. Got to stay in theme.
Hell yeah. So what do you think? This is kind of a well, I don't even know what type of question this is. It's kind of what I'm thinking right now. After Life on Film drops, what do you see for yourself?
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, you already got another one lined up?
Yeah,
This man is a hard worker, people. This
bro.
man
Hey,
is
hey, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna say it right now. So like, I made two distinct albums for two distinct reasons.
uh-huh.
I wanted to make the album for the South,
Hmm.
because I've never really made a Southern sounding album. I've always been somebody that like to play around in genres,
Right,
or sometimes do a little rage stuff, sometimes do a little boom bap, sometimes I do a little jazz. So like you never really knew where I was going with an album. Even with
right.
this last album, Thank You for Robin, like it is a kaleidoscope of different things that I was feeling and going through and researching and blah 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 blah.
Right, right.
Life on Film is straight out the trunk with it. Like it
Hey,
is like this is white tea music. This is summer music.
let's
This is
go.
yeah. So like I wanted to make an album that would have made my brother proud. That would have made me proud. When I was 15, 16. I'm really upset because we was trying to get this song Feel Like Jeezy on the project.
Ooh,
That
the
was
title. That's one of them joints where as soon as I see that title, I'm skipping to that track first. Just
bro. Bro, I I've been trying to get this man Super Mario to clear it for a hot minute. Like Super
uh
Mario sent me a whole pack. I have like 6 songs, 6 demos on on file right now. A Super
yeah.
Mario beats that we waiting. And I really wanted to get that on there. It's still May. So, I got like a month
Uh-huh.
before but yeah, like I wanted to do that project. And then there's another project that's kind of like hand in hand cinematics where
Hmm.
it's not so much the big hook songs, it's not so much the 808s. This is all dusty. This is boom bap. It's very Griselda. It's very Alchemist because I want
Hmm.
an Alchemist album. So
Hmm.
like this is that.
Okay.
And you know, um and it's going to be more so personal songs, introspection. It's going to be raps. It's going to be a lot of raps. So as soon as Life on Film is out and you know doing its thing, like there's another album that's waiting.
So it's
As
already
soon
one
as
in the stash.
soon yeah, and then after that we'll see where we're at with it next.
That's what's up, man. Anything you want to tell the people yourself? You want to tell them where to find you on social media? You want to tell them what to expect from Life on Film exactly, or What's up? What you got for me?
Absolutely, man. You can find me on all social media at GATS813. You find me at my website, GATS813.com. On anything on the DSPs, GAT $, get the $. It's very important. And yeah, Cheapskate is out right now. Life on Film on the way. We got Black Metaphor on there. We got Jordan Patrick on the boards on there. We got myself on the boards doing what it do. Man, Deontay Hitchcock, Sherelle, Ben Riley, YG Tut, Reason, Adia. It is a very crazy album. I think people are going to be shocked when they hear it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I'm curious myself because like I said, I met you Royal Rumble weekend in Tampa. I ran into you in Philly WrestleMania weekend last year, and we most recently linked up in Vegas at WrestleMania again. Am I going to see you in New Orleans, brother?
You gonna see me in New Orleans? You might see me in North Carolina. Honestly,
I was gonna get to that too, actually, because I am doing my Who Got Next Independent Artist Spotlight that I usually do Friday nights. Is instead of just one song and a quick feature, a quick segment, I get a whole show now starting in June this summer, and that includes people coming in studio freestyle session on some bars on I-95 Funk Flex type situation. And whenever you slide through Carolina, I got to get you in the studio, brother.
I'll be there.
That's what I'm talking about. I got to get you in there. I know you're gonna spit something crazy in there, bro.
Yeah, I might get canceled, but yeah, it's funny, man. I'll be like, sometimes I'll be thinking about some of the shit I'll be saying, and it's just like, what was I on, bro? What was I really on?
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. Be hitting though. It be hitting
though. Dog. I remember when I dropped Thank You for Robbing. I dropped that joint Haunted, and there's a bar in there. It was like how many Virgos I bought in a week. I had every Virgo in my phone hitting me up.
Oh god,
crazy.
Who you talking about? I know you ain't talking about me.
That was wild. That was wild.
But like I said, y'all, that Cheapskate joint is dropping on the show tonight. The link to the video, the link to this interview, the link to all of this is going to be on the website too, 1019online.com. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, appreciate you coming through, my boy Gats. All social media platforms at Gats813. Go follow him. All right.
Yes,
and like I said, when you come through North Carolina,
absolutely,
I need you in that studio, brother.
Absolutely, I'm there.
My man, I appreciate you, bro.
The Danny Ocean Show. The Danny Ocean Show. The Danny Ocean Show. The Danny Ocean Show.
Jules and WA out the Phantom. About to set this thing off like Latifah and Jada Pinkett, Vivica and the Random. What you doing at 7? Listening to the